Welcome back to Developing the Leader Within podcast as we continue our international month, my birthday month, and we are headed to Australia. I am so happy today to have Hazel Herrington with me. She is the Chief Executive Officer and founder at Herrington Publications Worldwide. 2021 top 100 most successful women in the world. Can you top that? I don't know. 2022 Entrepreneurship and Women Empowerment Award winner, celebrity interviewer, and we were just talking about that in backstage, and branding expert. Now, Hazel is a speaker, branding expert, and project management champion. She equips and empowers professional speakers and upcoming speakers on how to build thriving speaking careers and get more speaking engagement. Hazel, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Enrique. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast today. And I know we're going to equip a lot of leaders to become the leaders that they were born to be.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy to hear that as we're talking, folks, about leadership and marketing. But before we get into that, Hazel, tell us a little bit about you, because I know a little bit about your background, and I'm happy to hear some more.
Thank you so much. Well, I reside in Australia, but born in Zimbabwe. Traveled to Australia 8 years ago and built a powerful, strong brand, which I'm going to talk about today, how you as a leader can build a strong brand. And besides building a strong brand, also, like we said, become the leader that you were born to be, because becoming a leader is not easy. I mean, we've got a lot of leaders out there and they really are in the wrong positions, like Enrique said. So we're going to talk about that. And when I came to Australia, I already had the leadership qualities because I had a successful restaurant. I was empowering women, running business workshops. I was going into prisons, empowering the men, and I had a soup kitchen. So the reality is, you're watching this. When you have developed your leadership skills, it doesn't matter where you go, you will succeed. And when I came to Australia, I was determined to succeed, but I needed to connect myself with the right people. I needed to invest in myself. So you've heard my story just a little bit so far, and you say, okay, Hazel, you said you built a strong brand. Yes, I went back to university. I studied a Bachelor of Business. After studying the Bachelor of Business, I started investing in myself. I met an American organization called the J.T. Fox Organization, and I began to travel the world. Let me tell you, I started speaking on global platforms, started off in South Africa, and I met the first billionaire in Africa, Patrice Motsepe. I spoke on a platform that a lot of influential people were watching, and that opened doors for me in LA, where I went on to interview Mel Gibson. Now, I'll wait for Enrique to ask me more questions, or else I'll have to tell the whole story in one question.
No, I love it. And you're talking your world travel, but you mentioned something that's so critical. You had to connect with the right people, right? You had to connect with those that will enable you to not only perform at your capacity, but build a bridge to other opportunities to perform at capacity. And so, as we're talking leadership and marketing, it fits very well as we dive into this. Now, I wanted to ask you, Hazel, how would you describe marketing for a leader? Because a lot of leaders, they don't have anything to do with marketing. They don't even want to have anything to do with marketing. They much rather have somebody else handle that. But there's a piece that resides as a responsibility to a leader. So how would you describe that?
That's a fantastic question. Well, the reality is, like my coach, JT Fox said, he said that in terms of marketing and your brand and your organization, marketing is the fuel of your business. You can't drive a car without fuel, or else you're not going to get very far. So marketing will actually guide your business, help you to get more clients, and help you to increase your profits. Now you're watching this and you're a CEO. I need to let you know that without building a strong global brand, in, in terms of your competition, they will always be ahead of you. And let me tell you why. If you look at Elon Musk, and if you look at Tesla, and if you look at Twitter, he's at the forefront of his brand. He's not taking the back seat, and his profile on LinkedIn, on Twitter, has got an old photo from 1960s, and he's not taking the back seat, making sure that his marketing team and human resources are driving his brand. You need to be driving your brand, because people want to do business with people that they know and trust. Investors want to know more about you. Are you kidding me? I'm going on LinkedIn and I'm looking at your profile and you hide in your face and you say you're the CEO of a company. That is a public platform. That is your resume. That is your CV. And I always talk about the blunders that CEOs are making, not engaging on social media and thinking that, oh, okay, I don't want to put myself out there. Why are you the CEO of the company? You're not supposed to be a secret. You're supposed to be bringing in big business deals into your company, and you want to be a secret. You don't want to put yourself out there. Then you know the job that you need. If you want to be a secret, you need to be a private investigator.
I'm over here laughing because there's a lot of people in those positions that don't want to be in the front. And they, like I said, they just much rather have someone else do that type of thing. But I completely agree with you in terms of if you're about to be the leader of your company, then you do need to lead from the front. And a lot of times, folks don't understand that you are the face. Now we ask, and it's funny because we ask our employees, "Hey, watch what you do that because you represent the company." But what about the leader? What does he represent? They should be seeing that face more often than not. And so I totally agree with you. Now, uh, there's some things that leaders do not know. Marketing is usually one of those things because, like I said, somebody else does it. But why is it important for leaders to learn how to market themselves in the age that we're in?
Yeah. Marketing is very important because, like I said before, it's going to actually push the business forward. It's going to increase your leads and make you stand out from your competition. You need to stand out. You need to have a unique point of differentiation when it comes to your company. So, now what does marketing do for your business? Well, when you have the right marketing strategy, you are able to clearly communicate to your audience who you are, what you do, and why they should do business with you. That's what marketing is all about. Clearly communicating that. And then I always talk about the 5 Ws. Okay, so you've communicated clearly who you are. Okay, so where are you? Where can we find you? Why should we work with you? And who are you associated with? If you can clearly communicate that to your clients, and by the way, knowing who your target audience is, then you are going to have a successful business. Now, the reality is that we're talking about the marketing blunders that are happening with CEOs and obviously the marketing department in your organization. And one of the common blunders that we have when it comes to marketing or leaders, okay, is that they are not being consistent, is that they get a website, they build their profile on Facebook, they go on Instagram, but it's shocking, especially when you go on Instagram because you've got different target audience. So if you're working with teenagers and you are wanting to promote your business, and we've only got, I think, 10 posts from your business, that's shocking. Your target audience is on Instagram. If you and you are actually not posting regularly, there's something wrong with that. Or you've been inconsistent in the way that you're branding. Your website has got your new logo, your Facebook page has got the old logo, your Instagram has got no photo. So we need consistency in all these platforms. And as a leader, um, the most important thing I would say to you is that marketing is very important to help you stand out from your competition.
Yeah, competition is always there. You're always
Mhm.
going to run into someone that's trying to do it faster, cheaper, better, right? It's always
Exactly.
somebody there to
Yeah.
try to do that. And I agree. There is a huge amount of inconsistency within the platforms, um, and they all should be singing the same song. There is probably a lot of folks that are not singing that, and that's why they're not getting the attention that they are looking for, right?
Yes.
So yeah, great tip there, great remark. Now, the role of marketing, we're talking about how important it is, but leaders don't tie it to their success because a lot of times leaders' success is based on sales, right? But there's a relationship between marketing and sales, and if you sever that relationship, then
Mhm.
you will pay for it. They won't pay for you; you'll pay for it. And so, how does marketing come into play to ensuring the success of a leader in terms of how they benefit from their organization?
Okay. Right. We're talking about leadership. Firstly, true leaders are innovative. They think out of the box. They come out of their comfort zone and they're willing to take risks. And marketing is also all about taking risks. I'm going to share with you three organizations that showed true global leadership quality and how they used a marketing strategy that made their business successful. This led to an increase in their profits. They attracted more clients, and because they were innovative and they took the risk, they are now global brands and definitely global icons in the world. Number one, Nike. Okay, now Nike was one of the first organizations that decided to take on endorsements, sign up endorsements with celebrities, and their sales were plummeting at Nike, and they decided, why don't we take on Michael Jordan and sign up an endorsement deal with him? And it was a risk that they took, you know, and nobody else was doing that. And guess what happened? It was the biggest investment they could have ever done because Nike became the number one brand when it came to sportswear and definitely footwear. And even today, they're known for taking risks, being innovative and creative. You're watching this, you're saying, oh, what do you mean innovative, Hazel? It's about solving old problems with new solutions and thinking out of the box. Now, innovation is not just about coming up with new ideas, it's about implementing them. True leaders go in there and implement the ideas. Number two, the second organization, Coca-Cola. In the 1980s, Coca-Cola's sales were plummeting. They were selling Coca-Cola and they decided, okay, now what are we going to do? You may have a company right now, sales are not doing so well. You don't like to take risks. You don't invest in your marketing. And you're saying to yourself, okay, what do I do? There is no other way. You need to be innovative. You either need to introduce new products into your business and you need to take the risks. All these global icons and these global organizations, global brands, they're taking risks, coming up with new ideas. Back to Coca-Cola. So what did they decide to do? They decided, well, we're going to introduce a new product. We're going to come up with a new Coke and see how it's going to do in the marketplace. Because the reality is that clients, your customers, they may be loyal to, but they get bored. I can't keep drinking the same Coke for years and years. I want to try something different. So they introduced new Coke into the marketplace, and it was a huge success. And till today, Coke is known for coming up with new creative ideas. I mean, we've got the no sugar brand right now, and they've got a whole other products that are in the marketplace. But it paid off. And then the third company is iPhone. Wow. I think as soon as I said iPhone, you must have said, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now we know Hazel. No, you don't know. Let me tell you what they had to do, because they entered the smartphone industry when Nokia was dominating. And Nokia had this idea that, oh no, will continue to dominate. Whose iPhone they just come in, and who wants to send a video to their family? I do. I want something new and different. And here's the reality. Why are you not investing in your business, coming up with something unique and different? We're tired of the same old way of doing things. You need to be creative. You need to think out of the box. And coming and thinking out of the box, coming out of your comfort zone is scary. And you're going to take the risk. But guess what? When it comes to leadership, when you take a risk, even when you fail, you've learned something as a leader. This is what people don't understand. Oh, that failed, but guess what? Now you know how to do it right. And that's the leadership quality. It's the experience. I say the true experts have failed, have succeeded, failed, succeeded. I always, when I'm interviewing people, what projects have you done? Okay. What challenges did you face? What projects did you fail? And if a person says, I haven't failed at anything, I'm like, but concerned. Because Enrique, you know, at some point when we started our business, we failed along the way. You know, I remember when I started my website, I couldn't even clearly communicate who I was. I didn't even have a product. And somebody said, why are you even online? You know, if you're not selling anything and you don't know who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very powerful. The knowing who you are truly is the starting place. Because if you don't know, how can we, right? And
Exactly.
that was a great question. You know, why you have a website? If it doesn't reflect you in its totality, and you cannot speak to it, then maybe, hey, it's time to shut it down, or it's time to get right serious
Yeah.
about how you're going to market yourself and start taking some risks. And I love that. I'm going to keep that taking your risk. But as we follow on this conversation, um, a lot of leaders are not prepared to market as a whole, and they're even less prepared to market as a person. Now, you
Yeah.
mentioned LinkedIn earlier, you mentioned your website, you know, all these things are extensions of a leader or a person in business. But specifically on LinkedIn, right, where we have a group of professionals from global, all around the globe. And you mentioned one CEO don't even have a picture, right? And there's some, maybe some other information that they're not having there, but that's a great opportunity to market yourself. And so, what can you tell a leader that maybe is doing those things, missing information and missing the mark there, that they can do to ensure that they are at their full potential when it's coming to marketing for yourself as a person?
Thank you. I also want to add what your first question. You said making sure that you connect yourself with the right people. I believe that you need to build a strong brand in order to stick out of the crowd. And the second thing is to clearly communicate who you are and obviously why people should do business with you. Now, we were talking about LinkedIn. LinkedIn has changed. Everybody has this idea that LinkedIn is just for people that are looking for jobs. I want to let you guys know that are listening to this. Ladies and gentlemen, LinkedIn has changed. I'm working with a lot of uh, women leaders, global ambassadors. Wow, if I say to you that that is where we are making deals, networking, I make most of my money on LinkedIn. And guess what? I'm not even looking for a job. I'm running my business. But guess what? People are going to see something on my profile that's going to make them want to do business with me. And I need to make sure that I need to have a strong brand that is visible, builds credibility. It's all about credibility. Marketing, building credibility. Remember, we said, who are you and why should we do business with you? That's where also marketing comes into place. You're selling yourself. In case you didn't know, is that everything you put on social media, you are a business, you're selling yourself, you are a product, and how you sell yourself is important. It's whether people do business with you or not. So on LinkedIn, the first thing that will stand out is your profile. We talked about the photo. This needs to stop. I don't know whether it was a trend 10 years ago. I do not do business with people that do not have an updated photograph, do not have a photo, or even when it comes to where they've worked before. And let me be honest with you, is that it's not only me. Enrique, I don't even think you want to do business, because why are you hiding? We want to work with people that are transparent, that are not dodgy or hiding things, or that are too lazy to work on their profile. On there, if you'll find on LinkedIn is recommendations. Who have you worked with? What are your skills? And then we've got our company profile. If you have a business and you're on LinkedIn, even on Facebook, you need to have a business page. Let's get serious about our businesses and our profiles. And I'm speaking to the CEOs that I say, I work with a lot of people, and most of the CEOs and the global brands I've worked with, they're making so much money. And sometimes it's not because they've done Facebook ads, it's just the networks. I'll tell you that I fill up all my events with just somebody connected me. I have women said, I've got 5 women, high profile women that we believe should be on your platform, in your magazines, speak at your event. That now we actually have to now ask people to apply. Usually we'd have to be the ones looking for clients. And that's the power of marketing and branding.
Yeah, and folks, if you're listening, you are in a leadership position, even if you're not the CEO. Let's say
Yeah.
you're in a position to represent your company at a higher level, or even just basically, hey, I'm looking for people that may be of such and such, and you may fit the bill, but you didn't take time to market yourself, to put yourself in a good light. Your company may suffer as well as you personally. And so I love the fact that you bring up the intent of, if you want to do business and you are a business, then handle your business, right? So that's one of the things that a lot of leaders do not do. And maybe it's that they just don't know how. So and for that there's many things, right? You help these big level CEOs and executives put themselves in the right position so that they can do further business and increase their business. There's other people, folks, that focus on common day-to-day folks that are trying to just get on a good footing, but it is without a doubt that if you don't handle that piece, you may be missing out. Now, Hazel, I've seen you on stage, and we were talking about Mel Gibson, and we was talking about these other folks that I've seen you um, uh, interchange a conversation on stage with. Um, and there are a lot of people that are probably listening to you and saying, man, Hazel's got it all down right now. How do I get a hold of Hazel? And then we'll talk about a little bit about the things that you're doing here in the future. But how could someone get a hold of you if they wanted to do business and maybe have you get them on the right side?
Okay. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can go onto our website, www.herringtonpublications.com, or email info at herringtonpublications.com. Herrington is HE.
Outstanding. And folks, I'm gonna have that as part of the show notes and the video. So you'll have that information to get a hold of her. So Hazel, what's on the horizon for you? What are you working up? What are you cooking up?
Okay, so with my company, we publish books, magazines. We also help our clients build strong global brands. We also do speaker branding. And so most of our work has been online because of COVID. So now we are focusing on in-person events. We have an in-person event in Dubai. And because of our success doing virtual events, that we've been invited around the world. You know, it's so funny. I was invited by 3 different organizations to come to Dubai that I had a choice. And this is the power of marketing and branding. And so we're going to be inviting keynote speakers, powerful speakers to Dubai. So our clients that we've worked with, we give them the first priority when it comes to speaking on our platforms, and we make sure we put them in front of the right audience.
That's just wonderful. And folks, if you're looking to get into speaking and get into enlarging your brand and getting and maximizing your footprint on this earth, Hazel is one person that I will recommend to get you there. She's done it for herself, and that's the testament, right, Hazel? When you could do it for yourself, then maybe you could do it for somebody else. And I've always said that. So you have definitely done that. Folks, we're so fortunate to have Hazel with us today. And we continue this month long of international travels. Next week, we head back to the UK to speak to a very special, another female CEO running things like a boss, and I loving it. But for today, it has been Hazel Herrington running the gambit on speaking and enlarging your footprint as a CEO and as an executive. So if you have enjoyed today's episode, it is sponsored by Triad Leadership Solutions. And now, if you learned something interesting about the topic that we covered today, make sure to subscribe and let us know by leaving a comment right now. And we're always looking for new ideas and guests that we can add to our show. And if you know somebody or you have a topic that you would like for me to feature on the podcast, we'd love to hear about it by emailing us at triadleadershipsolutions@gmail.com. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode where we dissect leadership from another angle. And as we love to end the show, success to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Enrique.